Blind Nil Audio.
How long would it take a guy like you, Don, we call you behind your back Don Bod, to get a guy like me, Dad Bod, to look like
cover ready
ish? Yeah,
Cover
ready.
Would you do a cover?
I don't, but maybe. Yeah.
I can get you on a cover in the next 3 to 4 months.
Wait.
So you think the same
Hold
thought
on.
that if I was serious and got after it,
Time
4
out.
months we
You
could
are-
do it?
You are going to be miserable.
What does that mean?
That means like the training, the diet, it's going to be hard. Do I believe it can be done? I've done it. I've got to the point where you take your shirt off and you have visible abs and you have those nice lines running. Yeah, that's what he's referring to, those nice lines. But
Joe's not attracted to you at all.
It's
I would leave Joe to borrow for you. True story.
Welcome to Stronger. On today's show, we have the one and only Joanna and Chip Gaines. Through being their trainer, I've gotten to see firsthand how they get stronger in every aspect of their lives, and they do it together. I'm Don Saladino. Let's get stronger with Joanna and Chip Gaines. Guys, first off, thank you. Because, it just, I'm not going to get emotional, but like it's ironic where life takes you, right? Like I became a coach back in 1999. My dream was to open gyms. Turning back to 1999, if you told me I was going to be shooting a podcast, first off, what's a podcast back then? We didn't know this whole digital world, the internet. I'd be like, what, that thing with an Ethernet cable? Like it's bizarre. But you remember that whatever that noise is. But when I got in touch with Joe, and I can't believe we've only known each other for
It is crazy.
5 months. I feel like it's been 50 years, and that's just a testament to how great you guys are. But we're here to talk wellness, fitness, nutrition. I don't want this to come off as something tight, something real stiff that people just can't connect with. I think the reality is most people out there, they struggle. They struggle to find their groove. They think people that are in shape are always in that lane where they never break off of it or they never have injuries. I'd love to get a little backstory from both of you. I mean, I think that everyone knows you guys as these like TV personalities and obviously exceptional at what you do, but let us in a little bit. I want to hear where this whole, give us this backstory.
Yeah. Well, I think that, Don, when we talked 5 months ago, we Zoomed, right? And I was sitting there going, I don't even know, do you say Zoomed?
But it was a 90-minute call. Remember that? You were like, let's just hop on a call. And then we sat there and, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so I think what's crazy when I think about our life, we have known each other for almost 25 years and we've never once worked out together. And I think about everything that we do together. Yeah. We are together every day.
We do
come to the office every day.
Lots of things together. Everything. But work out over 25 years. You think at some point that thought would have been introduced to our ecosystem, but instead we always worked hard together. We play well together. We're a couple that, and it reminds me of you and your wife in a lot of ways. Like as I watch you two, it looks like you sincerely enjoy one another. And
we are a team.
Yeah.
So it was funny yesterday because we're flying in, we're sitting next to each other and we're working and we're like handing each other papers.
Totally.
And people were looking at us, I think a little annoyed because it literally was 3 hours of just nonstop work. And I not to sound corny, but I said it. I said it to her on the way here. I was like, I wish you were at more of this stuff with me because we are a team. She just doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
Sure.
She likes to be behind the computer. But your dynamic is very interesting because when you guys get together in the gym, there's a lot of, you guys try and push each other. And I think what most people don't realize is you're never going to be fully motivated coming in there.
Right.
Listen, there are days you guys don't want to see me. There are days that you guys don't want to go in there. I get it. But you guys always leave there in a better place than you did when before you came in.
True.
And I think when we had this conversation, I started thinking, how in the world have we never worked out? We never even talked about it. Like, I just think that it's just something that was
I ran a marathon.
Well, and so he trained for a marathon, but I was pregnant,
Yeah, my point was like you were super supportive, but typically I would take on an assignment, whatever the assignment would be, and same with you. And then I would be like, I want to do that. Let's do that together, but it really never, wasn't, it was my thing and I did it and you supported me through the whole thing. I remember even as we had to modify the food that I was eating or I tweaked my ankle. And next thing you know, I was kind of injured. To your point, we were talking about those compression
sleeves,
pants.
those boots. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had to wear one of those on occasion. And you were just so helpful through the whole thing. But it wasn't like we became, it's not like we started going on long jogs together.
We have never talked about, let's do this fitness thing together. Let's do this. We've never had that conversation.
How did that happen? Because you reached out to me. Like you didn't really mention Chip doing this in a group with us. And so that's kind of interesting for me to hear how that started.
She's a rat. You got to watch her because you don't know this, but she actually did that. So you would give her a rate. And then we basically got two people.
No, I did not, Dawn. I was like, Chip's just going to come on this. You got to watch it.
It's so smart, by the way. Really, I got it now.
True.
Okay. You were wearing boots.
Yeah.
Well, that
you
is
came
true.
in. You've evolved. You were wearing
serious.
boots, and then like a couple of days later, he came in sneakers and a t-shirt, and I had like a tear in my eye. I'm like, oh my god, my boy's all grown up already.
That's true.
Sorry.
No, I think this year, seeing our parents, like especially like my dad, he just actually had knee replacement surgery on Friday, hip replacement a couple months before. Just watching my parents, I keep thinking, okay, I'm now at the age where I need to choose. It's no longer, I hope I'm healthy for a long time. I actually have to start doing something actively and intentionally. And so I kind of needed like a kick in the butt. And I followed you on social forever.
And I think we should note that you hurt your back. You had a real back injury in high school.
True.
Yeah.
You injured your back, you slipped a disc, and then you had to get a real surgery, of which you had a real other surgery here last year or so.
So I've had a couple surgeries. I have two, herniated bulging discs.
Yeah.
And this was kind of there's no way this is going to work kind of a thing. Like
Is that what you thought?
No, you live in Rhode Island, Long Island.
Close.
Where do you live?
New York. We're only 5 hours away.
No, that's another place. Okay. You don't live here. I've had trainers come for like a week and then I'm like, meh. So I kind of just thought, let's try this long shot of a deal. I didn't assume you even did this training for two of us in Waco, Texas.
Well, I thought it was one, but you obviously finagled your way in to get a rate, but that's fine.
So I think I was like, let's try it. If this works, then maybe it's meant to be. But for me, it was, I need something that's motivating, that's stronger than my mind right now. Because in my mind, I kept thinking, I have got this back injury. Yep. I probably shouldn't be working out, honestly. Maybe I should just walk and that be my workout for the rest of my life. Mentally, I think for me, I used to work out pretty crazily, like in college. Like I was a gymnast in high school, grew up as a gymnast, and then when I went to college and I was done with gymnastics, if you're not doing that training anymore, your body just is like in shock. And so I think for me mentally, I'm kind of an all or nothing person. I turned that workout into something that wasn't healthy.
Right.
And so all through college,
What's an example of that? What do you mean by that?
Well, I worked out 2.5 to 3 hours a day.
Yeah, probably like where it becomes almost like a little bit of an obsession, right?
For sure. I wasn't really eating right. It was. Right. I remember some of my days. It was saltine crackers and a gallon of water. Like I had a very unhealthy, just body. Just the whole body image thing. And so all through college, that was kind of this monster that was a quiet monster. No one knew about it, but I think. Then I meet Chip and never talked about it with anybody. But I think in the back of my mind, I always was scared if I ever work out again, am I going to wake that back up? Because I don't want to be compulsive. I don't want to be obsessed. I now have all these children. So
but you're competitive. You're in there and you're like, I could see when that flame gets turned up a little bit. Yeah.
But I didn't want to wake up that unhealthy version of myself that I just tucked away after college. And so I've always kind of stayed away from working out because I just knew, am I going to go back to that? And so I think that's where I think our journey has been so helpful is you kind of helped me get out of my mind and like, hey, don't believe that. That's, and so I think it's just been interesting that I don't feel like I'm obsessed with it. I almost just have this healthy approach. Like I'll give myself a year to see if there's change and improvement where before it was a week.
No. Now, clearly you guys are coming in there. You're keeping the workouts. Face it, 45 minutes? But we're getting in there and we're moving. I was working out this morning and my hip was tight from, it's like bursitis. I'm 47, like body's feeling great. But like, you know what? Was on a plane, 2-hour car ride, good night's sleep, but woke up early and did not feel 100%. It's like, all right, like I'm not going to put myself into a bad place. I'm going to say, this is what I need to do. I know I can work around it. I'm going to be okay. It's more important for me to keep moving than to just give it up. And or not recognizing that today's not a day and going in there with everything I got and just saying, oh, well, let me ignore it. No pain, no gain.
Totally.
We're going to figure it out, right? Like you were on a really good path for months.
Right.
And there was a bad day of travel, maybe some stress compiled on top of that, common stuff. And then out of nowhere, it's like, all right, uncle, like, no, like it's too much. And then, you know, your body's back into a bad place and you're like, oh, wow, here we go again.
Right.
The whole goal is we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
We're going to minimize this feeling that you went through a few weeks ago. Next year, it's going to be less.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a better place. And I'm confident that every year we're going to, you know, you know, force that to be less and less, which is the whole goal.
Where in the past, once I feel that back pain, I'm done. I'm like, well, this doesn't work. And I feel like that's the strong part is like, how do I get my mind strong? Because I think the hardest part for me is I feel like in my mind, I feel like I'm 25.
Right.
And so, but my body at times, like today, I feel like I'm an 80-year-old woman. And so I think that's the thing I'm always battling is like, I feel young and I feel like there's so much I get to do and accomplish, but then this thing kind of holds me back. And so even the workout thing, I had such a good stint the last couple months and then all of a sudden something hit, like you said. And normally that's when I'd call the trainer and be like, I'm done. And see, I shouldn't be working.
Yeah, but a lot of it's information because this is what you're going through is exactly what most people go through. They're like, oh, I'm hurt. I went to the doctor. He said, lay off it. Or she said, lay off it. And sometimes that's the worst thing, right? So I think with the more information that we gather and you're going to gain more confidence and you're going to hear from some PTs this next week saying, no, you can train around this. We just need to stay away from X and do more of Y.
Yes.
And I think when you hear that, then you're going to know like, okay, starting to act up. Let me do this. It's going to put me into a bad place. It's like information is so important. There's so much information out there and people, it's not their fault. They're like going on the internet and they're reading stuff and they're going on WebMD and suddenly like everyone's dying.
Expert.
You know, it's terrible. But we're going to keep working.
Yeah.
This is just, hopefully our journey's just starting is what I'm saying. Chip, come on, man.
Oh, get
so
me out of
I know.
here.
So you were a baseball player, right? You played baseball. You transferred to Baylor. You were always athletic. You're super strong.
Oh, look at me.
I mean, you're in there. I mean, every week it's like getting better and better. And you are going to be doing a cover with me this next year.
I believe it. But yeah, I'm similar in some ways with Joe to where it's just like once it fell off, I'm kind of an all or nothing person. And Joe and I are similar in the sense that even like in the TV era when, you know, I mean, we're still in it, but when we were in it at the max capacity, at least from our little perspective, it's just like, you know, I work really hard. So that felt like a workout to me. Even
it is.
You and I were watching a movie the other day and the guy was mowing the grass and he's a doctor and he's this great husband and he's got all these admirable qualities. But she was like, why do you still mow your own grass? We could pay somebody to do this. And he goes, well, because it's that or the gym and who's got time to go to the gym? And his idea was like, hey, I do this in lieu of that. And I guess that's kind of me. I've got big hobbies that are not golf, that are not drinking beers with my buddies. And again, I don't mean to belittle either of those hobbies if folks are into that thing. But for me, it's literally hauling big, you know, bales of hay around, feeding the animals. We're doing hard work on a construction site, you know. It's like when I get done with a hard day's work, you know, I wonder about that sometimes. Like our granddads, did they need this other thing? Because they were really doing hard work to begin with.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they did. I don't think they needed the gym. I don't think it would have hurt them. But when you're, you know, picking up bags of potatoes as a you know, a 12-year-old like my grandfather was working at his father's fruit stand.
Totally.
You know, doing this at 3, 4 in the morning, falling asleep in class, and the teacher's like letting him sleep because he knows he's, you know, my grandfather's working before and after school. There was this old school work ethic that I think many of us don't have anymore. But I think when you're doing manual labor like that, in which like just the amount that you guys are on your feet and the stuff that you're picking up and carrying, like I think that's going to check a lot of boxes right there.
Totally. So I think I kind of lulled myself into that, whether it was right or wrong, you know. And then the idea for me, like even I felt like this when I did the marathon. I ran down to the mailbox and back.
Right.
And it was like, I mean, I don't even know. It couldn't have been a couple hundred yards, there and back was the whole thing. But I just was gassed. I felt completely winded. I was in a terrible spot. And I just literally was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to run 26.2 miles. I mean, if I can't even get to the mailbox and back without feeling completely, out of gas. So in that vein, it's just like, for me, it's just like, instead of reminding myself, it's almost like back to the point about being a baseball player and an athlete. When I was at my best, if I can't compete kind of in that realm, then I'm just like, forget it, altogether.
Right.
And I think that is an unhealthy mantra, because it's like nobody's going to always be 25. Nobody's always going to be 35 wherever your best was. And so you kind of hit on this. If it's 80% of our best now at 50, because I woke up the other day and I'm 50 freaking years old. I never saw myself as a 50-year-old. I joke with my buddies. It was like, I took myself more as the he's going to die young type than the I'm now 50. So even if I died tomorrow, nobody would say, quote, he died young. They might argue that it was too early or whatever we would all say about it, but it wouldn't be the guy died young.
50's young.
You think 50's
now
young?
It's young?
I think it's young now. I don't know. I think about when I was growing up.
I remember my granddad, exactly what you just described at 50, and the dude looked like he was 100.
Well, that's why I think it just feels different now. You look young. No,
I don't.
You look young.
Babe, yes, I've got wrinkles that you could sleep in.
I think everything, that's not true. I think everything's moved like 10 years. I think 50 is probably like
the new 40, 35, wherever. Yeah. And I don't disagree with that.
I believe that. I want to drop a name that's going to have no relevance to you guys. There was a woman who was my neighbor growing up. Her name was Kay Macy. I think she lived to like 104.
Wow.
For as long as I was alive, till I think the day she died, this woman went into her garden from the moment she woke up, and she just was on her hands and knees, and she was shoveling. And I remember every year you're like, wow, Kay's 96 now. Kay's 98 now. Totally. Kay's 99. At 100 plus, she's still out there gardening. So listen, are you gonna turn into a bodybuilder from gardening? No, I'm not gonna argue the science on that. You're not gonna create a lot of hypertrophy or muscle growth from that. But how are we quantifying success here? Like what's important to you may be different than what's important to me. But at the end, what should be important to all of us is longevity.
Right.
What can we turn around at 90 and still be doing the things that we love? Okay, fine. Maybe I'm not squatting 500 pounds then, right?
Totally.
I know I'm probably not doing it now, but are we able to get to that age gracefully, and are we able to feel good? And I think that should be the goal for most of us.
See, and that's where I'm at, and why I'm going to be the skeptic in this whole, conversation. It's just like, I don't know any old people that make it look fun to be old at all. And so I have concluded it must not be fun for anybody. And therefore, for me at 50, I feel great at 50. But I want to die the year I start feeling like crap.
I worked out with Jacqueline at 90.
Okay.
He was 90 years old. I was blown away. I was at, I think it was like Gold's Gym's, I'm going to screw this up. It was like Gold's Gym's 100th birthday, or maybe it was Jack's 90th birthday.
Wow.
And I'm like, I look like this little Guido in the gym wearing like my sleeveless shirt. I'm working out. Jack comes in with a camera crew and he points at me because I was in shape, and he just said, let me work out with this young guy.
Wow.
And I was like, and I remember
what
the
an
moment
honor.
being like,
what a legend.
Yeah, he was a legend. But I remember the moment being like, oh my God, I got to miss my workout right now and do whatever this guy's doing. So I went, Mr. Lillane, how are you? I'm done. Like, what are you training today? And he was like, I'm doing chest. I'm like, let's do chest.
Wow.
And I ended up hitting chest with him. And the guy was 90 years old, pressing 50 plus pounds on incline.
Jeez.
And I remember this guy was like handsome.
Yeah.
No body fat.
Yeah.
Lean. And that right there snapped.
Wow. And you were like, I'm going to be
21, 22 years old probably at that time. And I remember saying to myself, oh my God, like this is how it needs to look. It doesn't have to look the way that we envisioned it as we were, growing up, as you were explaining. This episode of Stronger is brought to you by David Protein. Packed with 28 grams of protein, only 150 calories, and 0 sugar, David Protein bars are great for staying full and hitting your protein goals without added junk. Now, I use David Protein bars all the time, especially when I'm traveling. So if I have long road trips, or I just got off of about 6 flights in the last week, David Protein bars, I will load them up in my suitcase, and every day I will take them out and I'll throw 2 to 3 of them in my backpack in case I am in a pinch and I do not have access to high quality food. So David Protein has given me a solution to where on airplanes, road trips, on the golf course, anytime I am out of pocket and I don't have access to food, you can always find a David protein bar on me. Right now, David is offering my listeners a deal to buy 4 cartons and get the 5th free at davidprotein.com/stronger. That's davidprotein.com/stronger to get your 5th carton for free. Humans aren't perfect, but David is. Give this product a try. All right. So in my Challenger community, I always get daily questions that I'm unprepared for. And I thought it'd be fun if we threw you guys on the hot seat a little bit. And I have no idea what questions are coming in. Let me be very clear here. So I'm praying that they're good questions.
This is cool, man. We're gonna have all-in show, man. Like the old school.
This reminded me of like the Z100 days.
Yeah.
Like in
Remember
New York,
Delilah?
I used to get the calls in, and every once in a while you get the crazy person screaming.
Oh,
but it was
for us, it was Delilah. She was this romantic lady who literally would come on at like 8 o'clock at night, and Joe and I were driving back and forth from Dallas to Waco to see each other on these dates, and we would listen to Delilah.
She would
and you could call in, and she'd give you like relational advice.
I love it.
Yeah. So some version of that is about to take place.
Saladino.
Let's get Delilah on. We'll talk to Delilah. All right, cool. I'm excited.
Question number 1.
Chels, oh my God. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So the question that I have is, we do talk a lot about how we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people in the gym because everybody's on a different place in their fitness journey, whether it's their first day, 5th year. But as someone who suffers from this personally, how do we kind of attack that when we're comparing ourselves to ourselves from the past, whether it's COVID or a health issue, an injury? How do we kind of change that when we're not comparing ourselves to somebody else, but to a different version of ourselves?
It's a good question.
Wow.
Dang.
She's basically asking, so you're basically asking, you're in comparison to yourself at a specific point in your life. And when you go into the gym, if someone's not in that same place, and we were talking about it earlier with when we're in high school or when we're in college, when we're operating at 22 years old, I'm feeling a little different now than I was. I'm at 47 and then at 22. So that's what Chelsea's asking. So
100%.
Joe, you want to, let's
I'll give you one of my secrets that it's not the answer, but one thing I got busted with years ago, I'm not going to say a few, maybe a couple. But I used to put this picture of myself when I was 18 in my in my drawer. And it was when I had a 6-pack, and it was like when everything was just, I was healthy, everything was good. And my daughters found it one day and said, "Mom, this is so weird. You're weird." Why? And it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like I remember having a moment of like, what do I tell them right now? But that's what would motivate me, is how do I get back to that? But I think that's such a fascinating question. And for me, especially being married to a Chip Gaines, the way his brain works and the way then it coaches me, and now even working with Dawn, is like forward motion. And the way my mind has always worked is being inspired by what happened. How do I make it better? How do I not ever have that happen? And so the older I get, I've always tried to just say, okay, how do I look forward? Because that's looking backwards, like the old me. And I love even how you say, if you've mastered not comparing yourself to others, then it's okay, another version of yourself. The way I look at it now as almost a 48-year-old woman is like, I now go, okay, when I'm 50, I can't wait to be this. Where in the past, it was always, I want to look like I did when I was 20, 30. Right. And now it's like, I cannot wait to be the best version of myself at 50. And so I keep my like little blinders forward now and don't allow myself to go back. But it's a thing. It's like Dawn and I were talking about earlier, it's a mental exercise. Like it's something that I have to work on so that it's stronger, but it's definitely something I have to be mindful of and attack when I feel like it's coming.
But it's got to be, we were talking about things being practiced, right?
Like practice.
It's
you
like
have
that
to do that.
piece.
Yes.
It's like you got to practice it, and it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you sharing that with us. That was solid.
Do you deal with that? Because you
100%.
were.
That's the only thing I do struggle with. I think the uniqueness to me is that I don't compare myself to other people. When I see Don, I am sincerely proud of him, and I'm excited about his success, who he is, what he looks like. All those things are true for me about Don, and they're sincere and they're real. Because there's some people that just fake that, and there's some people who really have it, and then there's most of us, I would argue, who don't have that at all. They see you, and there's only a jealous filter. There's only a why can't I this? Back to the point we were making, it must be really easy for you because I can't get to that stage, whatever. But when I think about it, and this is what I love so much about your question, when I think about me younger, You know, it came easy. Things, I was just naturally gifted in all these things. And once it became a challenge to do them, I got worse and worse at it, which is not great. Because if you can only do it when it comes easy to you, it's not really a thing. It's not really a gift or a talent. It's when it's hard that you then still show up. And so it's just like I war with myself about that old version of myself. And it makes it hard when you're in there doing, literally the other day, Don had me doing bands. And I literally thought he was like pulling my leg. I thought he was like, I thought he was literally going to videotape this and then use it against me, like at my next birthday party or something. And I'm like, bands, Don, what is this? Like, I feel terrible.
Chelsea, just to giving you, coming from the coach's corner over here, I would say that I think it's normal to be going in there doing and thinking the things that you're thinking. But what do I always tell you guys? Focus on going in and leaving there feeling better. That's always been, most people, back in the day when I started, as a coach, they were like, well, you have to have a goal in mind. And I never really understood that because my goal in college was to be stronger for baseball. And when that left, I didn't have like one specific thing I wanted to train for. So I just trained to feel good. And then when time went on, feel good and be well-rounded. And I trained that and I instilled that in my head. And it's the most consistent thing in my life. We can get sick. You never know what's going to happen with business. But me leaving the gym feeling a certain way is one of the most consistent things in my life. You can count on that. Besides the love I have for my family, obviously. We're putting that aside. That's obvious. But I think that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the things that they talked about, but also just leave there feeling good. And when you do that, pat yourself on the back, rinse and repeat the following day.
So I actually do have a follow-up question for that is for you guys, when you are trying to practice, like you were saying, not allowing that to come in, what are some tools that you guys specifically use to quiet that mental block?
For me, it's saying things that are positive to myself, which is that feels just as hard as like when Don's like, Joe, do 15 push-ups. That saying that positive thing, like, you are amazing. You've had 5 kids. Look how strong you are. I have to like turn the tide of my mind and start going the other way until it's natural and until I believe it. But that requires like this mental strength that I feel like as I'm working out with Dawn and I'm thinking of all these things and I'm spiraling internally, but I'm doing the strong thing externally. I feel like now it's starting to match up to where when I do leave, my mind feels strong and I feel like, oh, Joe, you are killing it. And my body feels strong too. But it starts with that positive, like just start saying all the things about yourself that you're so proud of. I feel like it just like washes over you and is so good.
Amen. Chelsea, I think you and I are similar in the sense that, I don't even know the answer. I don't have any advice because I really do compete against that younger version of myself. And to be really frank, I've just gotten to where it's just like, I don't even know what to do with it. It's not like I've concluded by this positive thing that then I've whooped it and let me give you some great advice as it relates to this success I feel. It's just like, man, there was a thing that I remembered that was natural. And I woke up and I felt good. I looked good. Things were right. And then you get to be 50 and you wake up and I guess this is the point you're making. Even on my best day, I still look at in the mirror and I'm like, man, God, I wish I could this. I wish I could that. And I really wonder, do you, out of curiosity, do you have some advice from our perspective in the sense of like what has worked for you as you've debated through this and as you've worked through it in your own lane?
So a little history, I came from a bodybuilding background. So I competed as a bikini competitor in 2019. So what I've found is that I forgot how hard it was when I started.
Wow.
And by the time I got to the point where I was in that shape and lifting that much and all of that, I had been working at it for a year and a half, but you kind of forget when you're in the trenches and the slug and when it was hard. So I'm trying really to kind of remind myself when I'm restarting my gym journey and trying to get back into fitness that it wasn't easy when I started. It was easy when I ended because of COVID. So
totally
trying to kind of remember that timeline.
I'm going to add one thing to that, Chelsea, and I love that, by the way, because I think we all have a tendency to forget. But I think sometimes a lot of the negative is almost what makes us great at times. Use it constructively. I don't want you to obsess to the point where you're getting yourself sick over it. But I want you to, again, feel good. And that starts one workout and one day at a time, one meal at a time. And you know what, when you deviate off of that and you go for the holidays and you have a good time, great, get back on it the next day. Don't beat yourself up. And when you can do that more and more and more, good things are going to happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for your time.
Do you feel like at the end of one of your sessions, do you feel like you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I completely agree with that. I go into it wishing I could be who I used to be. But then regardless, at the end of that workout, I feel better than I did before I got there. So maybe there's just hundreds of those that then finally get you to this place to where you're like, I really like the results. I like the way it's ended.
I will caveat that with, except when you finish a band workout with Don Saladino.
Yeah. Listen, just always a little form of advice here, and I'm going to tell it to them too. Just blame your coach. It's the best thing to do. At least I'll take the brunt of everything, and we'll move on from that.
Awesome.
Chels, thanks. It's great seeing you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's take another one.
Okay.
That was fun.
That one made me really think. That's
No,
funny
yeah,
how
no,
some
it's-
stuff just like comes up that you...
For sure.
I think this is good for you too, to reiterate this.
Yeah.
I just believe that. Marta, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for allowing me to join in.
Oh, stop. This is incredible. We can't wait to hear your question. We're kind of nervous. We're scared.
I think you're probably okay with this question, Chip. Okay, so as a post-menopausal woman who's trying to build muscle, can you suggest a weekly progressive training program that I and other women like me perhaps can do at home?
Yes. So first off, strength training. We just had Dr. Gabrielle Lyon on recently. You should look her up. She's phenomenal. But we were talking a lot about getting at least 3 to 4 strength days in. I would start with maybe 3. They don't have to be long, probably 30 to 40 minutes. Keep it basic. I offer free programs. So if you just go onto my website, there's a hint, there's a free program on there that you could take advantage of. But just do that. I don't want to push anything on you. But I would also focus on things like protein, right? Protein's very important. And putting a lot of weight behind building muscle. As we get older, muscle is our resilience. It's our body armor. It's going to help with our metabolism. And I think that's something that, not to generalize, but a lot of women get afraid of, right? They're like, oh, I want to do cardio. I don't want to get big and bulky. Like, trust me, try to get strong and bulky. You're not going to. You're going to be just fine. But if you focus on those things, I think you're going to be in a great place.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I found you through Dr. Lyon, actually. I listened to the podcast that you were on and been kind of following you since. So I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And any way I can help, just, I tried my hardest to respond to everyone. So shoot me a DM. I won't forget you.
Okay, that sounds great.
Marta, I don't know if this is going to be an encouragement or a discouragement, but just to try to be encouraging. Hopefully this is encouraging. We are all working out in the same way.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, as he described what would be good for you, I literally was like, wait, Don just got me on the same workout.
Yeah, but that's the misconception, because every female I've worked with in Hollywood, I'll name drop the, Blake Lively's, the Annie Hathaways, Cindy Crawford's, they train the way I train men. It's like, what is it? We want to get them strong. I want them to be able to move. I want them to have high levels of energy. I want you to be able to get good rest and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I think if you focus on that and just don't try and do too much, get in, get out, good things will happen. All right.
Right. That's my aim. That's my aim as I get older. I'm focused much less on weight loss than on building muscle and living as long and healthy of a life as I can.
Well,
Totally.
We talked about it earlier that if we focus on those basics, I call them like NSVs, non-scale victories. If we can just take those NSVs and work on the boring things. Right. It's not the sauna. It's not the cold plunge. It's not the vitamin, right? It's us doing the monotonous things over and over. And most people look for this different answer. Yeah. And when I say there's not a different answer, it's just like the hard things in life, I think, when it comes to fitness, is doing those monotonous things over and over. And a lot of times people are always looking for this magic pill, and there really is none. So keep it up. I'm excited to help you through your journey if you allow me to. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, Marta.
Bye. All right, let's take a couple more. Are you guys okay with taking a couple?
Let's
go.
This is exciting. All right, I'm excited. Come on.
Hello. What's going on?
Sean, what's going on, man? It's good to see you.
Don, it's always good to see you. Chip and Joanna, it is wonderful to meet you. My wife and I have been inspired during our own renovations. I'm hashtag Team Demo Day.
Nice.
I love it. Looks like I'm looking into a mirror, Sean. I can't tell where I've stopped and you've started.
Awesome. What's up, brother?
So my question to you all is, how do you balance the demands of your busy careers with maintaining a healthy lifestyle and a strong family bond?
Yeah, we
Chip, I'm going to you,
are honored by that question, to be really frank, because if all hell broke loose tomorrow and I had to choose between fame or success or this business and my wife and my kids, the fame and the business and the what was the third? Success. I couldn't remember the three that I was debating there. But as I think about fame and success and money, you know, in comparison to my marriage and my family, it would just instantly, all of this would instantly go away. And my wife and my kids would be back on the farm, raising animals. We'd be a part of the FFA. I mean, who knows what would happen next, you know? But Joe and I, it's just like, we believe that if we believe we can have our cake and eat it too, in the sense that I can be successful and I can have a healthy marriage and family. But I will say, if I find to be mistaken about that, you know, sort of like hypothesis, then no problem. I'll have a great marriage and a great family. That'll be sufficient. You know,
Joe.
I think the one thing we're learning, Sean, I like this question because like Chip said, we have these non-negotiables from day one, whether we were struggling for the first 12 years of our marriage, like every Friday was like, well, is this when we close our doors? Like every day we showed up, it was like, well, if all this goes away, we still have each other. So that was like the core and the foundation of who we are, who we were. And then now we have these 5 babies. And so everything he's saying is like, that's the core of who we are. Every decision we make, we say, how will this affect this? I will say the one thing we've never been great at is, okay, we have this business that we love, that we're truly passionate about. We have this family that we like is our number one kind of thing. But then this wellness piece, this, how do I now integrate eating well, working out? Like what we found, we've known Don for only 5 months, but it bumps into every schedule because we love like work. And so now it's like, well, I have a meeting at that time. So now it's like, okay, at this stage in our life, what we're trying to figure out is we've got family, we've got business, like that's our thing. But now this wellness and health and working out, that is a new thing for us that we're trying to figure out. How does that just work in this balance of life? And Don has been very patient with us.
Thank you.
But that is a thing that we're trying to figure out because it is hard to do all of it so well. And so what we do understand, though, is when you get that wellness thing down, man, the way that you perform better at work and even as a parent, like all of that makes everything better. So it needs to be a priority. But just almost 25 years into our relationship, we're now figuring that out. And it feels like we're just learning.
You and I talk about this a lot, though.
Okay.
We've had several conversations where we believe that obviously you have, I mean, because you guys are massively successful, but like you have the family and you have the success. Mixing in the training now, not the training, I don't want to use that word because it sounds so like militant. Mixing in the wellness component to it. I think we all have to get a little, the word's not selfish, but like to most people, they think it is selfish because they're prioritizing ourselves. And it's a line I stole from a therapist years ago. Clean your side of the street.
Wow.
And if you're showing up to work every day or your family and you're not healthy, your kids are smart, they're going to see it.
Come on.
You're not going to be able to be there for your employees the way you want to be there.
Totally.
So I think it really, all of this stuff, and this is what I try and tell people is, yeah, okay, if you think it's selfish, get a little selfish. Like turn around and give yourself a little bit of time, a couple days a week for a walk, do something that's going to make yourself feel better. And I think all these other things, like you were talking about earlier, are going to improve because you're feeling good about yourself. It's very difficult, I think, to be going into the workforce or the workplace or doing the things that you need to do in business and in life. If you're sitting here and you're like, I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel healthy. My energy level's terrible. And then your kids, like very common question. People will call me up. Well, how did you get your kids to be healthy? I'm like, I didn't get them to do anything.
Right.
Like I led by example.
Yeah.
And they just decided to follow. They still eat pizza. They still eat ice cream. They still do the thing kids do. But during the week, I'll come home and my daughter the other day, she's grilling salmon.
Sweet.
A 17-year-old, and she's eating like veggies. And I'm like, just looking at her like, but like, I'm not telling her to do any of that.
Totally.
I'm just lead by example. But you gotta prioritize yourself. I think.
I think that's fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Don't run off, Sean. Give us some advice. What works well for you?
Yes.
We believe that every person has something to teach us under almost every circumstance. So thank you for listening to us, and we appreciate you implying that the three of us have the answers to the universe. But if we were to flip it back to you, tell us some ways that you're successful in that work-life balance, and that how do you manage the family?
He's selling himself short, by the way, because
Okay.
he's in great shape and he's a good family man and is a hard worker. So Sean's been one of my challengers for a long time. And Sean, you lead by example. Trust me, you're someone I've loved having.
Come on, man.
So
I appreciate it. Yeah, part of what makes it easy for me is that I have to do my health and fitness in the morning. Like I work out first thing in the morning. If I don't do it then it's real hard to kind of juggle it into the rest of your life. And you got to be like you have to have your cornerstones, I guess, like you were all saying. You have to believe in your family, believe in yourself, and be there for them. And then things just kind of seem to start working out.
I agree.
Beautiful sentiment.
I love it.
Appreciate that, Sean.
Sean, thanks for being on, man. It's great seeing you as always. Right?
Thanks for having me.
See you back at the group. Awesome.
Nice
Take care,
to
buddy.
meet you.
All right, next up we have Amber. Hey, Amber.
Hi, Amber.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. We're excited to have you on.
You too. So, if you had the incredible once in a lifetime opportunity to send your younger self a postcard from the future, knowing all that you do now, what tips would you give yourself on living an abundant, fit, and healthy life?
Oh my gosh, mine's going to be so arrogant. So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to give you guys lots of cover.
give me time.
Give
If
us time to
I
think.
could send myself a postcard to back when I was younger, did you have a specific age, or did you just say my younger self? Was there an age?
Maybe an impressionable age.
Okay, there you go. An impressionable age. I would send a postcard. It'd be amazing. And I've got just an eerie suspicion that Don's and I would be similar. I'd be like, bro, you're right.
Maybe we should just end there.
These freaking people that are speaking these things over you definitively are completely mistaken. And just think about the power of that kid getting a note from himself in the future saying that you were right. You were right all along, to wonder and to question the circumstances and to wonder if this system was really built for you or if it was really just a kind of a
Dude, I
unique
love you.
system.
No, I'm jumping in right now.
Okay, go.
I love you, man. I listened to a hitting coach last year at I never say it right, Louisville.
Oh, yeah, Louisville Slugger.
And he
course.
turned around, he goes, one thing that I tell all of my players, and he goes, what? He goes, not prove them wrong, prove them right.
Oh, come on,
and I go, what do you mean? He goes, don't pay attention to the naysayers in the past. Pay attention to the people that really uplifted you and put you in the right. So why are we always saying prove them wrong? Go back and prove the people who believed in you, who told you you can do it, prove them right.
Right.
Does
Yes.
that get you amped up? We're doing
Let's
push-ups
go.
after this.
Chills, bro. Me too.
That didn't even answer your question. I don't think that even answered her question. We're just running right now.
It's not a
Keep
great
going.
postcard, but my only sentiment behind it is just that I think we're born with innate, real clear visions of life. And then I think it's the world's job to sort of steal that clarity from us. But what would you
Yeah, you're
Well, when you said an impressionable age, I went right to
what age do you think of yourself?
16 years old, and I was a sophomore in high school. Transferred. I was private school most of my life, so like 25 kids in my class. So thrived. 25 kids. You know everybody. You're best friends with everybody. We moved to Austin, Texas, and my parents put me in a 5A public school in January. It's like right after the holidays. I have never been in a school this big in my life, and I shut down. And for this is one of those things, I've shared this in quieter ways. Well, I say quieter, I put it in a book, but I remember the first couple months I spent my lunch period, because the first day I went to school, I walked in that cafeteria and saw a sea of people that I felt like none of them saw me or noticed me, and I didn't know what to do. So I walked straight through that cafeteria. I've never been in a room that big with that many people, and went to the bathroom and hid until the bell rang. And
Just
so
sat on the toilet.
No, I wasn't on the toilet, but I was in the stall. And then later I would find every which way to hide during this. I became a master at, okay, I'll go to the library. When the library closed, oh, my stomach hurts. I'd have to go to the nurse. So for like 3 months, I'd have to make up why I wasn't in the lunchroom. But I would tell that girl that one day you will feel seen and you will feel valuable. And what I mean by that isn't because of the fame, none of that. It's because I have a husband who values me in such a way that he calls me up and out. I have these beautiful 5 children, and I feel the most known when I'm at home. But to think about me at 16 hiding in a stall, feeling completely invisible, like, does anyone even care? Does anyone even care to know my story? And I didn't feel like they did, which is why I hid for 3 months. To be able to tell myself that one day you will feel seen and noticed and valuable, I think would just be that encouragement I needed at that moment, because I felt very alone. And again, Don, like you were saying earlier, would I ever erase that? Absolutely not, because it gives me the empathy for people that are experiencing that at whatever season of life. But I wish I would have known that truth earlier so that I didn't feel the need to hide.
Man, there's so many. God, do you have a box of postcards? Because I'd send them back to so many different ages.
When she says impressionable, what age comes to mind for you?
You know what?
That's interesting.
I'm going to probably say it was when I opened my first gym at 27, which is later. And trust me, I needed a lot of work before that. But I think the postcard would have said, relax, bro. Like, stop trying to control everything.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make things out to seem more important than they are, or putting things on such a pedestal where at the end of the day, I was a gym owner, I was a trainer, wasn't life or death. You know, people aren't going to go home and care about things the way that I cared about it. And when I couldn't control situations, internally, I really struggled with that, I think. And looking back on it now, I think it's ridiculous. And, a part of me is happy that I was trying to work hard and do those things. But I think there's just certain things that are out of our power in life. Totally. And you can just tell yourself, like, am I doing everything I can? And if you could honestly say or believe, because the answer is always yes. Can you do more? Sure. There's always a way you can do more, but you got to ask yourself, with what I have and what God gave me and what I'm going to the table with, am I doing all I can? And a lot of times the answer was really yes, or at least I felt like it was.
Totally, yeah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
So relax, bro. That would be my line.
I like that.
That would be my line to myself. But those are great questions.
Amber, what would you say to your perfect little impressionable self?
Oh gosh. I've been thinking about this because I've been thinking about this question. What I would tell myself is...
What age do you envision this young version of yourself? How old is she?
She's about my daughter's age. My daughter's 3, but I also I think about her as she gets older and older, and what I'm going to have to keep on reminding her of, and as well as myself as I get older. And what I would tell her and my younger self is to keep on seeking, creating, and going on adventures. When I was little, I used to I was an only child and had a lot of time on my hands. And I would just go outside and make treasure maps and treasure hunts and bury my Crayola box with all of my marbles and couch cushion coins and right underneath the tire swing, because that was the only bald spot in the yard. And then I would start at the other end of the yard and I would go all the way. And it was just so much fun and so much joy. But then I was thinking, as I get older and as people get older, kind of like what you guys were talking about, we forget that we can still create these adventures. That X on marks the spot is going to be totally different. It's going to be a totally different goal, a totally different intention, but we still have the opportunity to seek out adventure and goals and just the thrill of fun. I was thinking also too, not everything has to be attached to an ROI. Having fun and joy, that's as simple and good of a reason to do it.
Totally. Great word.
I like it. Awesome.
Kudos.
Well, listen, thank you for coming on. You really made us think there for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But thank you. Listen,
well done,
really
Amber.
appreciate your question. Thanks again.
You guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So we got some great caller questions. When we're typically working together, we're always I think on the go, right? It's, we got a certain amount of time to turn the session around in. Do you guys have anything for me? Anything you want to ask me while we're sitting here in this beautiful room?
Oh, come on. I can't believe this is our first podcast together. I mean, it feels like we've done like 5 million of these, doesn't it?
Million.
Man.
Hopefully many more. Yeah.
Mine is more, so the question is for myself, Dawn, because you are the motivational, anytime we're working out, I'm like, thank God for Dawn, because you help me get out of my head.
Thank you.
But on days when it is hard and I feel like I do think it's a better choice to just lay flat and not be active and just like, okay, my back is killing me. Sometimes it's mental where it's just like, I just feel like crap today. Yeah. What is the thing that I just need to remember? Like if you were to say, okay, Joe, you obviously don't live here. We're not talking to you every day, but knowing, okay, I'm going to work out with Dawn today, but this is hard for me. What is the thing? Like, what do I need to tell myself? What is it, something that would just be I need to remember this?
There are times where, you got to shut it down.
Yeah.
All right. And I think you know the answer. Joe, are you being lazy or do you really need a day off? Like, are you going to be able to honestly look at me and give that answer? And sometimes it's like, all right, maybe I'm being a little lazy. Maybe I need to get in there and do something. But look at the last couple of days or whatever, if you're sick or maybe your kids are up late or maybe you didn't sleep much or something happened, once in a while, taking that additional rest is something that I want you to do. Mm-hmm. And I'll be the first to tell you, if it's not getting better and you just feel like you're going down this rabbit hole and you just want to like shut it down and rest, that's great. But I think we have to be honest with ourselves and we got to ask, all right, I've been working crazy hard over the last months, weeks. I haven't had a day off. I haven't had time to shut down. We want to just go get lost, lay on the couch for a day, which is something we don't do enough of, right? Like just taking that day, it's raining out. I want to put some movies on, light a fire, drink some coffee and relax. It's like, that's mental health. Like if you guys need that, I'll be the first to tell you to do it, right? Please do it. But then there's other times where I think, you got to say to yourself, I got a busy day. I'm going to be on camera. I am not feeling good today. I need to go move a little bit because this is going to set me up in a position to be successful when I'm on camera. Or I know I'm going to feel better. I got to find it today. I need to do this because you haven't yet really left a session being in a worse place mentally. I know you've gone into sessions where you're in pain or something's going on there, but most of the time we have you leaving and you're like, all right, I'm in a better place. I still feel like garbage, but I am in a better place. So I think that's something, again, that behavior needs to be practiced. It's like that discipline thing.
Right. Does motivation come first or discipline? You're saying discipline first and then that's the
discipline.
thing. Is like,
I say because motivation is not going to be there.
Okay. So discipline first.
The irony, I think it's motivation that gets you to first base.
Right.
Then you build the discipline and then that's what sustains you. And then motivation just comes incrementally.
He's right. There's got to be that motivational piece to want to make that change.
For sure.
Because if you never start with I was sparked, I was encouraged, inspired, whatever to do.
But I loved what Chelsea said, one of our guests, right? She turned around, she said, I was a year and a half in. I was thinking about what it was like towards the end.
Totally.
Not the beginning. She said that. And I was like,
that's
a really good point.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
We don't backtrack to like that first practice where maybe you haven't ran.
Right.
Even like, I remember going into a soccer
100%.
practice in high school. It's high school. I came from, sports all year long. And I remember going to soccer and being like crazy sore and like feeling tired that first day. That goes away quick because you're young, but you still feel like junk on that first practice.
Totally.
So it just gets magnified, unfortunately, by 50 when we're getting close to our 50s or in our 50s. But I think it's a good question. What about you?
When was it? This isn't my question. I defer my question to my future self, but I am curious, like as you were saying, your evolution, now you're 47. At what point, like when you said, I used to be able to do a standing back and now I can't, how have you made little concessions along the way that allowed you to sort of, forgive yourself or be kind to yourself that, hey, you're not this age anymore. It's okay that you don't do whatever that is. I'm curious.
I'm thinking about learning a standing back again, to be honest. I've been thinking about it.
Well, that's what I wonder.
But
why
you
not?
want to know what? Because I can, if I wanted, I put my mind to it, I could still do it.
Okay.
The thing that is just unavoidable is that recovery component. Wow. There was a time in my life where like my training was structured, but I could frivolously like, oh, you're running 12 miles today? Let's go. Wow. And train legs the next day. And like your body would be sore for a few days and it would recover.
Totally.
Now it's like those few days extend and it's okay. I can get myself out of it, but you just got to think differently. And you're a little more achier, a little more sore. But then there are times of the year like where I feel like I did when I'm 20. And then there are times I'm like, wow, I feel 60.
Yeah,
and it's just, so I feel like there's that volatility, but it's the times I can get my body back to feeling like that, which has been more. And that's even been improving because I'm smarter and more intelligent with my decisions. But I think that's just an example that we can have our cake and eat it too. And we can, I'm never going to turn around and say I can't. Whether, if I truly can't do it, I'm still going to be stubborn and find a way to maybe do something a little bit differently. I don't want to turn around. Yes, I'm getting older.
Yeah.
You're getting, of course I am. We all are. Like, I don't care how much money you have. We're not avoiding that, but there's 100%. This mental piece to everything that I think for me is really important to keep trying to improve or strive.
So what are you better at 47 than you were at 37, 27? Pick an era.
So you want physical or mental?
Yeah, the physical part of the equation. What are you better at 47 than you were 10 years ago?
I think my body composition is better. Like I've shot the cover of Muscle and Fitness 3 times since 2018. I couldn't do that when I was 21, 22.
Really?
My body didn't look as good. I needed years.
Yeah.
I needed time. I needed to learn more, even more about nutrition and training. So I think those things I'm better at. I think my training now is just much smarter. But like back then, like I remember being in college running a 452 mile at 220 pounds. I'm like, can't do that right now. Like, it's just like, okay, like I'm okay with it. Like it's all right. But there's still something in my head telling me like, you really could if you wanted to start working towards it. So I don't want to lose that fire. You know?
I love your version of having your cake and eat it too. And it really is a physical component. Because I think the older Joe and I get, we listen to people who say things like, I would never go back. You know, I would never go back to my 20-year-old self.
I don't want to.
Most of these people are like females that I'm thinking of. And their point is like, hey, these are hard-earned scars. This is hard-earned the way I look. You know, wrinkles in my face. These are hard-earned things. Like the wisdom they gained, they wouldn't go back to that more naive, inexperienced version of themselves, even though they wouldn't have wrinkles, they wouldn't have a couple of pounds, whatever the thing is. But I love the way you're kind of defying that. You know, you look like
but it's gonna happen.
Body or younger.
I actually want, I think it was a couple years ago, Mel got me, I was getting grays coming in. So she's like, do you want to try this stuff? I was like, yeah, let me try it. I put on my hair. I was like, this just doesn't feel right for me. So I said, the hell with it. I was like, all right, like, my beard's getting white, it's getting gray. I'm just like, I've accepted now. What's fun for me though, is when baseball ended for me, I thought I was going to be like, literally like in my bedroom like this. And because fitness was my, because fitness was in the business of fitness and my career was this new, it filled this void for me. And it spun off. Now I'm still, everything with training, I love it even more now. But now there's like, I'm here with you guys. Like I flew out to Texas. We're sitting here. We're 2 hours into a conversation. We're 2 hours and 15 minutes into a conversation.
Like a 30-minute conversation turned 2 hours.
I didn't think life was going to take me here. That's why I love hearing you guys talk. It's like, we didn't think we'd be here. Like, I didn't think Waco, Texas, like I'm here 5 months ago. I wouldn't have imagined being here. So for me, that's what's getting exciting about life, is that all these new doors are opening. I do not want to go back a year. I'm happy where I am.
Come on.
I love that.
So on that vein, my real question is, how long would it take a guy like you, Don, we call you behind your back Don Bod, to get a guy like me, Dad Bod, to look like
cover
you-ish?
ready.
Yeah, cover ready.
Would you do a cover?
I don't, but maybe, yeah.
I can get you on a cover in the next 3 to 4 months.
Wait,
so you think the same thought that if I was serious and got after it, 4 months we could do it?
You are going to be miserable.
What does that mean?
That means like the training, the diet, it's going to be hard.
Well then,
but you know
what about 12 months? What is that?
This is do I believe it can be done? I've done it. I've got to the point where you take your shirt off and you have visible abs and you have those nice lines running. Yeah, that's what he's referring to, those nice lines. But no, I don't know.
And that's all. I would leave Joe tomorrow for you. True story.
No, listen to me. I'm trying to be serious here. I want to retract. I don't think you'd be miserable. I just think it's going to be nutritionally, it's a lot. Like we'd have to dial in your macronutrients. We'd have to know how many protein, carbs, and fats. Now, if we were to just clean up your eating and I was to have you eat 3 square meals a day and maybe a shake and get your protein up, and we were to spend the next year training 4 days a week, doing some cardio, doing that stuff, I think I can get you to a point where you take your shirt off and you're like, oh my God, what the hell happened?
Wow.
You already look great, but I'm saying that like really like getting you to a point where you feel like we're reversing 20 years on you. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
when
no,
I think
100%.
Of 4 months, it's exciting to me because I feel like I could get behind that. When I think about a year, it feels a little too long.
If we're gonna do 4 months, if we're gonna do
4 months,
listen, if we're gonna do 4 months, if we're gonna do 4
months.
months, you and I are gonna document it. I'm donating my time to you.
Let's go.
And we're going to get on a call 4 days a week and we're going to do it.
Okay.
Wait, are you saying you want to do this or no? We're just joking.
Chip,
we hadn't made a deal, but I'm like, I want to seriously consider this.
Why don't we get you, I brought this up. Why don't we get you ready for a cover?
Oh, heck yeah. If I could get on the cover of Men's Magazine or
No,
Men's,
I already spoke. I actually, Men's Fitness just is starting back up and they just put me on their advisory board.
Because I'd tell them this is the idea. Today, we don't know the answer. We're going to show you a before and after, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because that was what was so
I can get you on
encouraging
that.
to me about
You
the
can get you on
marathon
that.
is I started at nothing, and 4 months later, we did a marathon, and I finished it. And I'm just saying, for the population, what sucks about our business, and you know this, you know this to be true, we don't show the results until we've already accomplished them. So then it's like, oh, look at my bank account or look at my body or whatever.
This is day one.
Nobody starts.
This is day one. Take your shirt off.
Exactly.
Pictures. We have to like, and there's things nutritionally, like maybe we get you a meal delivery service.
Totally.
Simple.
Totally.
Joe, do you really want to do this?
Well, I guess.
But that's what's fun about it because there's a chance that I don't make it.
Joe's
now,
gonna
what
do it with
sucks about me is that there's zero chance I won't make it and I'll make it.
No, you're
But it's
gonna make
you've
it.
got Men's Health scheduled on a calendar on this month and they're coming and they're showing up. I mean, can you imagine if they
so
showed up and I did mess up?
Well,
and
first
I
off,
looked
it's my
Chris
reputation.
Farley?
It's my reputation, so you're not throwing me under the
Well,
bus.
there you go. That's good.
I got to get you ready. So I'm going to be like
spiritual
I want to
moment.
close on one thing, if you don't mind. I want everyone to take this and just really try and absorb it. People come to me and they want time frames put on things, 4 months, a year. Is it 80% nutrition? Oh, it's 80% nutrition. Is it 20% training? Or is it 17% training? Is it 3% supplementation? It's 100% mental. That's it. It's 100% mental. I'm a believer that, unless there's disease or sickness or things that are out of our power, whatever you want to do, you can do. When it comes to changing body composition and stuff like that, whatever you do, if you want it bad enough and you put a plan together, you can make it happen.
Well, ask the Men's Journal. Just say, if we were to play this out.
Men's Fitness.
Men's
Fitness.
By the way, I already asked them. I already asked them.
Say, we're going to play this out in real time, and it's got to happen in real time.
I promise you that I asked them about you on a cover, and they said, that's interesting. That was their answer. We'll let them come. I'll go to Men's Health, who I'm on the board of, and I'm on the advisory board, and Men's Fitness, I'm on the advisory board, and I will talk to them both. And I'll say, listen, who wants to cover this?
All right. Oh, pin them against each other. Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. First off, guys, thank you. This is like, this definitely is, being able to do this with you guys, this is definitely a dream. First off, the conversation was amazing. I got to know you guys so much more on a level that I don't think we would ever been able to do at the gym.
Totally.
I know Mel loves you. I love you. Thank you.
Amazing.
And, awesome.
Some relationships, it's just like some relationships, you got to know somebody for 20 years to feel like you've known them for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
With us, we happen to have known you for
no matter what happens with the episode, I will always be your coach, and I love you guys for that. And thank you for joining, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks again.
The views, information, or opinions expressed in this series are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Chip and Joanna Gaines, Binel Audio, nor Magnolia.